How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
Team in yellow meets team in orange, and it's red alert for both these sides. Chennai Super Kings and Sunrisers Hyderabad both have 6 defeats in 8 games and stand on the brink of an early elimination. What can we expect when the two collide on Friday at Chepauk? Let's build up on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout in the company of Finch and Ambati. Rayudu. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Only 60% of the way through the league stage, and these two teams are already on the brink. How surprising is it, considering these were two sides who featured quite high up on most pre-season expectations?
Yeah, I think the way that the Sunrisers have played has been really surprising. How explosive they were at the top of the order last year and how they blew teams away to make it to the final was unbelievable and almost took the IPL by storm, took world cricket by storm by playing such an aggressive brand of cricket. Just hasn't come off for them this year. I think if you look at the way that their team structures up as well, probably the lack of a genuine world-class spinner hurts them in those middle overs when you need to force wickets. And for CSK, I think that they've built a team around being successful at home. A lot of spin options, a lot of guys that are very good at playing spin, and it just hasn't quite worked out for them.
Yeah, and as a result, they've lost 3 out of 4 games at home. Almost seems unthinkable. And now both these sides have to effectively win 6 out of 6 to stand a chance of making the top 4. Now, because RCB did it last season, the chances of the teams who find themselves in this position are being talked up. But the one point of difference, perhaps, Rayudu, is that RCB, even in matches number 7 and 8, was showing signs of improving. They had an upward trajectory. We can't really say the same about CSK and SRH right now, can we?
Yeah, I don't think so, because both of them have been struggling big time, and also they can't get their combinations right. And none of the batsmen are in great form. Like you can say that somebody will go on to win a game for your team. I don't think anybody is showing that kind of form or even hunger to do that. So it's quite strange, because both the teams are actually very, very good teams on paper, but they have really, really struggled this season.
Let's focus on the batting. The top orders aren't working for both sides. The middle order is not working for both sides. Let's shine the spotlight on the number 4 batters. And let's start with Sunrisers, because Nitish Reddy, one of the finds of last season, broke into the national side. 130-odd runs in 7 innings. The strike rate is also barely a run a ball. What's gone wrong for him?
So I think the biggest problem that he is facing is, the guys that he really loves, idolizes and wants to play like Virat Kohli, plays a lot on the onside, and he's been batting alongside Henrik Klaasen in the nets. So he's been seeing a lot of big hitting on the onside. So he has started playing only on the onside. You don't see him play on the offside. Last year, he was playing a lot of good shots on the offside. He has completely shut that down. He's going everything leg side. So I think that's not easy if you're a proper batter. These guys are, Virat Kohli is a master. He can play on the offside whenever he wants to. So, and Henrik Klaasen as well. But as a young kid growing up, it is very, very important that you become versatile in every area of the ground. You should be able to hit in every area of the ground, which he was doing last year. So I think that's the difference in his batting.
One of the things that might be pointed out is that Sunrisers have lost wickets early quite often this season. But it did happen last season too. In fact, some of Reddy's notable contributions came when Sunrisers lost 2 or 3 early in the piece, and he was able to save the innings. Why is he unable to replicate those returns?
Well, it's easy to do it when it happens once every 5 or 6 games. When it's happening game after game, the pressure then is all on you. And you feel that as well as a player. And I know he's played for India, he's got a brilliant Test 100, but he's still relatively inexperienced in T20 cricket. So to try and find that balance a bit between the Sunrisers wanting to play this unbelievably high-risk, high-reward game versus giving yourself a chance, getting into your innings and then being able to explode. If you think back to last year, they were so destructive in the power play that any time that he would come in, they were always ahead of the game. So you could take, and it sounds stupid, but you could take 1 or 2 balls extra to get into your innings and to sum up the conditions and line up a bowler and then go hard and be aggressive. Whereas now, they want to keep going hard, but they're behind the game all the time. So then that weighs on your mind a little bit as well. And then you have to try and take on the best bowlers with their tails up as well.
All right. If we look at CSK, the last few games have seen them use Ravindra Jadeja at number 4. He did get a 50 in the last outing against MI, but that came after some runs at the end. The first 20 balls of the innings, he was going at run a ball. First thing first, they've arrived at Jadeja after a lot of chopping and changing. Do you agree with the move to have him at number 4?
See, Jadeja is someone who has always batted well from 15th to the 20th over. He has done that. He knows the patterns of batting in those last 30 balls. So suddenly when he comes up the order, he looked a little confused. He still wanted to get to that 15th over and then take on the bowler. So he's not someone that would come on and take on the bowling right away. So it is very, very important that you get players who can do that. Brevis is coming to the side now. Maybe he can, get in there. And also Dubey strangely has done the same thing in the last game. Maybe he could have gone a little earlier in terms of big hitting. So I think it's just a little mindset shift that they need to get in.
Yeah, I think that it's probably the wrong move because, like Rayudu said, Jadeja is somebody who knows how to navigate the last few overs. He's never been a player that has had a high strike rate in his first 10 balls. So then, if you're on the back foot in a game, you're taking the momentum away. You're not in a position to transfer the pressure back onto the opposition really quick. You think of some great players who have batted at number 4, AB de Villiers, as good as anyone we've ever seen. When he walks out to bat, his intent and his energy is high from the start. So if you bowl poorly, he'll hurt you. You bowl well most times and he'll still hurt you. But he transfers the pressure back really quick. So all of a sudden his team then get momentum and you're away. So I just don't think that Jadeja is that type of player who plays that role.
I think especially, recently we've seen Surya do that brilliantly.
Yep.
So I don't think Jadeja is that mold.
No.
Yeah.
And is the problem only further compounded because the first 10 ball strike rate is one thing. Jadeja, through most of his career, has never been someone who's taken down spin. You come in at number 4, you're obviously going to face a lot more of spin, so you're also putting him in front of unfavourable matchups.
But they've got Shivam Dubey.
Yeah,
and that is his number one go-to. That is what he does better than most people around the world. And you see teams have to change their tactics because he's in the opposition. So to me, put him up there. You might expose him to a few more overs of pace bowling first up. But the way that he catches up is extraordinary. And he's shown an ability to play the short ball better in the last 18 months as well. So for me, I think that makes more sense. You might lose a wicket, or you might lose him early every now and then. But imagine him having to face spin in the back 10 overs because they've forced to bowl it to him then. He can do so much damage. I think that's a more calculated way to go about it.
Absolutely. I totally agree because Dubey is not someone who plays well at the death. We have seen him struggle, especially against the Yorkers.
Yeah.
Bowled slightly wide.
He likes length, doesn't he?
Yeah, he likes length. So he will get length when he goes up the order. He might have to face a little fast bowling, but eventually he can really go hard against spin. It is not like Jadeja can't go hard against spin. It's just that he's so tuned mentally to play in those last few overs. I think maybe he can, have a mindset shift and come out really swinging hard against the spinners.
So then from a Sunrisers perspective, when you consider the muddled thinking for CSK's middle order, their shared troubles against spin, is this a game where they should consider getting Rahul Chahar and have 2 leggies?
Yeah, I think it's an aggressive option. If the wicket takes spin, which Chennai would be hoping that it would spin based on the quality of attack that they've got versus the spin options that
It is also
SRH.
the venue with the most wickets to spinners so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And it probably hasn't seen as much spin there and been as slow as what it has been in the past, which CSK would have been hoping for. But overall, I think it's definitely worth getting an extra spinner in there because you're probably not going to get overs out of Abhishek Sharma through the middle as well because you've got the left hand of Dubey there. So that's what I mean. It just forces you to do different things. And with the ball turning back into him, he's savage on anything.
Yeah. And it's also a big ground.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be humid, heavy air. So generally spinners tend to get a lot of wickets on the boundaries. And the wicket's slightly slow. It is not like it's coming onto the bat. They'll have some help and definitely Rahul Chahar needs to figure in that 11.
If they do choose to go with both those spinners, is that where this contest is likely to be decided? How Chennai tackle those 2 leggies in the middle?
Yeah, and also, in terms of Pat Cummins and Jadeja and their slow balls that they bowl into the pitch and access, try access those bigger boundaries. So it's going to be quite a challenge for CSK. It's not going to be easy because, they have a very, very decent bowling for the conditions in Chennai.
I think it's the battle of the power play still. I mean, if Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma get off to a fly, they're so hard to stop. 2 left-handers as well, so you expect Ashwin to bowl some overs up top. But then that puts so much pressure on the opposition. Chennai's top order have been poor, really. They haven't been able to get off to fast starts, and they've lost wickets along the way as well. So I think whoever bowls better inside the power play will have a big effect on the game.
All right. Finchy, Rayudu, thank you so much for setting up the game for us. Neither side has happy recent memories of playing at Chepauk. CSK, of course, have lost 3 out of 4 home games so far. Sunrisers, the last time they were here, they lost the IPL 2024 final to Kolkata Knight Riders.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.